Good afternoon again, folks. Welcome to the final episode of Spilling Tea for this front load, at least for today. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do the usual disclaimers, and this time the ramp is on topic. See, Matthew Israel is going to demonize Greg Miller, one of the individuals who used to serve as staff at the JRC who came forward as a whistleblower. They like to tar and feather him and call him things that he never was. Disgruntled. Demonizing someone who shows humanity. Good move. Truly. But the thing is, Doctor, you can lie about Greg Miller all you want to. But what you can't do is to erase the images of Andre McCullen's screams from that video, which agrees with Greg Miller's depiction of the things you all get up to behind closed doors. It's also backed by the New York Report, as well as witness testimony. That much damning evidence means, hate to say it, but you're full of crap. But now to the disclaimers. In the description box, folks, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic has refused, so you know that drill. Please read that article, share it on all your social media. Also linked in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Also linked in there, the Ozarks' first article in regards to the Agape boarding school, now known as Stone for Help boarding school situation. This is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school that takes in so-called trouble male teens that has and pending, folks, over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor still on the premises, with full access to the boys, up on multiple substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing at defunding public libraries to actually protect the kids here. And you have a governor off his nut. What can I say? So folks, please read that article. Share it on all your social media. We got the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCullen back in 2002, and the other present, self-explanatory, change.org, shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you do have young children present, please use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. Trigger warning. Get that calming tea and square your shoulders, because we are about to once again descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience, lies, abuse and torture apologencia, all coming from a man with a massive ego and even larger God complex. So as always, folks, be prepared for the condescending amount of word salad stupid we are about to hear today, okay? All right. Now that I've properly prepared you for the muck throwing he's about to do, let's get into it. One kid, you could smell the flesh burning. He had so many shocks. This is not true. Funny, ER documents back it up, but you can't trust ER documents, right? It's like I'm watching the AH versus JD trial again. GED treatment does not cause burns. It actually does, doctor. It actually does. Because there are DESI reports documenting those burns. They are ER documents documenting the third and second degree burns on the two kids who were dragged out of their beds and shocked 71 times each in 2006. There are medical documents from your own school where kids were so bruised, had so many abrasions and so many second and third degree burns that you would have to pull those children off the devices for at least 3 weeks for them to heal up before you were able to put them back onto the device. Please don't blow smoke up my ass and tell me it's roses, okay? Please. Seriously. A similar allegation was made in 2005 in a school-wide investigation conducted by the Massachusetts Disabled Persons Protection Committee in 2006. The allegation was found to be unsubstantiated. Is that really true, doctor? Then tell me, why were you dragged to court? Why was his mother given millions of dollars in compensation for the medical bills due to the third and second degree burns substantiated by medical doctors, by Antoine? No, we don't want to talk facts these days, do we? JRC's use of the GED device is under constant supervision by Massachusetts Department of Early Education and Care. I've told you folks how this works, right? These places do not have the time or the manpower to be able to send someone to monitor this place 24/7. Therefore, that's a lie, doctor. And the Massachusetts Probate and Family Court has always been found to be safe and effective. Here we go again. Doctor, these people did not go to medical school. They went to law school. And as you have a very vast history of hiding documents, I very much doubt that these courts got to see the documents from the ERs on these kids. However, I have. We all have. We have the receipts. Try again. The accusation is said to have been made by an anonymous former teacher, probably Greg Miller. You always blame Greg Miller for literally everything. You ever think that maybe you've burnt more than just one bridge? I do not see any other former staff of the JRC singing your praises. Just because they maybe not have the bravery of Miller to stand and fight you because of your intimidation tactics does not mean that they will not talk anonymously about what you all get up to. For the love of God, get off your soapbox. Spare our ears to word salad nonsense. Miller is a disgruntled former JRC employee who worked for JRC for over 3 years after he was demoted from working with the classroom to working in the residence due to inadequate performance. Folks, you want to know what that inadequate performance was? Greg Miller wasn't shocking them enough. Yeah, that. He quit JRC and began providing false information to anti-aversive advocates who've been trying to bring JRC down. Really? Was he telling false information? Then why was it corroborated by the New York report? Why is it corroborated by ER documents? Why has it been corroborated by DESI reports? Why has it been corroborated by, for the love of God, your own surveillance footage? People aren't idiots, doctor. Everything that man says has been proven. with your own video surveillance footage, nonetheless. And if he was lying, if it's all just untrue and everyone's just attacking the poor JRC, why did you tell staff to destroy surveillance footage? Yeah, that. If Mr. Miller really felt that he was witnessing something abusive while working at JRC, all he had to do and was legally required to do as a mandated reporter was pick up the phone and call the state agency that investigates child abuse. But here's the thing, doctor. He did. He did all those things. Yeah. Seriously. The telephone number had to make a complaint and his duty as a mandated reporter to make such a complaint if he saw something abusive were all taught to him in JRC's training course. Yes, you mean your indoctrination training. Surprised you don't make him wear ceremonial robes. The fact that he worked for over 3 years at JRC and never made a single complaint either to JRC staff or to state agency shows that he's just engaging in some relation to JRC for demoting him the act that caused him to resign. Every single little bit of that, doctor, is a lie. As a matter of fact, he did file a complaint. The state did nothing. I noticed because, that archive. Gotta love receipts, right? He did file a complaint. Nothing was done. He tried to escalate it. Nothing was done. So finally, after being beyond frustrated that nobody seemed to care that these kids are being tortured, he went to the media because he was left with no other choice. He took the proper steps. The state did nothing, as it continues to do nothing to this day. You can try and demonize Greg Miller. You can try and paint us advocates as the bad guy just hating on the JRC, or you can even try to say that us poor disabled people just don't know what's good for us and we should just totally be tortured into compliance to regurgitate your bull all you want to. But you cannot erase that footage that got out. You cannot erase the screams hurled round the world by autistics, psychologists, and the public all around the world of the screams of Andre McCollins. You cannot change that we watched the whole video where you took a boy who was sitting there doing nothing, saying nothing, only refusing to remove his coat, then had staff tackle him to the ground, to the floor, shocked him when his muscles tensed, as one does when they are shocked with electricity. You follow that as full reason to slam him on a 4-point board face down with a helmet on and shocked him for hours on end while your staff stood there and laughed. You can't erase that. There's no amount of demonizing Greg Miller or Senator Joyce that is ever going to erase the evidence. And we're going to sign off on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.